Since 2001, the UK Chapter has presented the Mervyn David Award to an individual who has made a significant contribution to the security profession, named in honour of a former 208 chairman. I'm going to hand over to Nigel Flowers now, who knows the full history. Nigel is a past recipient of this award, so his name's on there somewhere.
It's a wonderful trophy in honour of Mervyn David, who was our first president, Air Commodore, Provo and Security Services at the MOD, and he and I worked together in Germany and also at the MOD. He was a great leader for us, and we honoured him by this award, which has been presented to many people over the years on behalf of the chapter, and I look forward very much to hearing who is being honoured today in this way.
Thank you, Nigel. It gives me actually great pleasure today to announce the award for this, well, for 2010 is going to David Hines. Now, before I asked David to step forward and accept the award, the Baroness was due to present the award because she knows him very well. Unfortunately, she cannot make it today, and she's left me with a very quite emotional statement to read out. So please, no tears. First of all, this is the Baroness's words. I would like to say how sorry I am that I'm not able to present David personally with this award. He is the sort of hero of mine, and I want you all to understand just how extraordinary a man this is. After his daughter was murdered over 20 years ago, he set up an organisation in the northeast of England to help and support other parents and families who had undergone the appalling trauma of losing a loved one. This organisation grew and grew, and today is the National Victims Association, of which I am enormously proud and humble patron. It is run by David with some able support and voluntary help, but it's essentially his baby. They have hardly any funding from central government to help them deliver their important work, which I hope David will tell you all about, and certainly no core funding, which makes it all the more important for their fundraising is supported as much as possible. I have been privileged to meet with many of the families David and his team have helped, and I attended an inspirational and deeply moving memorial service recently in Newcastle Cathedral, just a couple of weeks ago, where loved ones who have been murdered in horrific circumstances met together to gain strength and support from each other. David is in constant touch with them and is more often than not the only support they get. Their stories will make you weep. They make my heart ache, and mainly because they get such little support other than this exceptional man. I commend to you for this wonderful award, and more than this, I hope you'll take away with you the story of NVA. And remember, the families who spend their lives living day to day with the knowledge that they will never see their loved ones again. David, please step forward. Thank you.
Yes, please, if you don't mind. Is that the mic? Can everybody hear me?
There's a mic there on the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I hope you understand my accent. I can't change that. I'm here today. It's an honour and quite humbled because, first of all, I don't know much about your industry. I do know we have a common bond in Baroness Harris, and she's not the only patron we have, but she's the most hard-working one I've ever known. Today I'm here for a couple of reasons, I suppose, to make aware of our charity, and hopefully that none of you sitting in this room or your families or your friends will ever need us. But sure enough, we get 2 or 3, possibly 4 referrals a week. The latest one, of course, the trial's just finished of the only guy who got murdered by Raoul Moat. Who was that? Chris Brown. Nobody's heard of him. But that's the next family. They were in Buckinghamshire. The sad thing is that whilst I've gave up my career and whatever to spend the last 7 years without any salary working on behalf of the families of homicide, it's come to the stage where it's going to collapse if we don't get help. We survive on trusts, charities, the benefits of a golf tournament, things like that. And we just wish we could get through to government because of the criminal justice system, the money that's spent, it's 0.01% that actually gets spent on the victims of homicide. Out of all those millions, that's what we get. and it doesn't come to the families directly. Over the last 3.5 years, we've been running a Restart Life project, and I'll come back to that in a moment. The last 12 years, I've had the privilege of saying that I've hosted the largest free conference in the United Kingdom for the families of homicide. I didn't think 13 was an unlucky number, but this year it is, and we don't have the money to host it in July. We also host, like Angela Harris said, the memorial service. That's been running for 8 years, and it's a very, very emotional service. In fact, I still think it's the best one in the UK, and it's attended by hundreds. I suppose Restart Life came about by peer support, and I was telling Tim, who's doing a report for your newsletter, that the only common denominator we have is when you lose somebody is to speak to somebody who's been through it. And we developed Restart Life not as a mainstream therapy like a soldier who came from Afghanistan said on TV the other day. It's peer support. It's a 5-day residential, and we try to run 3 a year based on about 16 to 20 homicide families coming together. There can be couples, there can be singles, that's the adult ones. We also try to run 3 a year for the kids ones, and I make no apologies, I'm a professional beggar. I want to put the best I can on for these kids who've lost their parents, grandparents or whatever, and I give them a good time. The northeast of England's a fantastic place, and it's vast, quite frankly, from beaches, coastlines, historic, entertainment, whatever it is, and there's something different to do every time I do a residential. We try to keep 50% of those victims that's been on a residential to take over the next residential, so it's a bit of experience and peer support. We have, I suppose you'll read a bit more about it because I'm trying to speed things up, become a service provider under the new National Victim Service, but there's no money going to be in the pipeline for about 18 months, because anybody who comes on our Restart Life project will not get the benefits unless they've been through a murder trial and been at least 2 years after that. They'll not get the benefit, they're too emotional. But they start to come out of that deep emotion and get help from us. I am going to forward on to Tim all the references we've had, etc., from the Home Office, which we've done. Now we've done 3, but we haven't got the money to do any more. Miller Philanthropy, based in London, have just adopted us as one of the 14 charities, and we're in the incubator stage at the moment with them, and they'll give us the money to do 1, possibly 2 for the kids Restart Life. That's great. But what's depriving is that we can't put on the adult one, nor indeed put this year's conference on. I have to have a decision to the hotel that puts it on by, I would say, no later than mid-April. Otherwise, we just can't organise it and put it on. The base, by the way, the conference is on like question time, where we get the political parties, high-profile speakers, and everybody there. Sometimes it gets across, sometimes it doesn't. So I'll finish off by saying I'm here today, quite frankly, to accept this wonderful award. I'm flattered, and I'll guarantee there's been more important people than me have received it. When he mentioned Air Commodore, God, I was a bit flattered. I only reached the stage of corporal when I was in the Air Force, you know. So that's the kind of people that get this award. I know what to say. But I don't care what award I get, I'm only campaigning and advocating for the families of homicide. They're the most important things to me, because I get fed up with being told that we for killers, and I just think society has lost its sense of outrage and care for the people out there that are neglected, and they really are neglected. So if all you people out there can pass on to your friends, look at our website and help us in any way whatsoever, I'd be obliged. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.